When the game gets tough, the tough ones start to play at Armor Attack. Hi everyone, and welcome back to Armor Attack Italy. This is Angelo, and the video of today is the first one of 3 dedicated to the faction, and this first one is about the Bastion faction. Okay, let's get rolling. Now, Bastion faction. The peculiar characteristic of the Bastion faction is that every character has the self-repair. How does that work? That works, how it says here, that is active at all times, but on the active segment. Okay, each of the Bastion character have the durability, and you see it when you play, right? You have that gray bar, and it's split in 5 different sections. So the self-repair works on the last one, the one that is active at that time, the one that is taking the first damage. But things do change when you upgrade. What do I mean? That up to level 4 you have only the self-repair of the 700 HP per second, and that's it. From perk 1, if you choose defense, it changes, because then well, first of all, the repair is much stronger, but it runs only for 5 seconds, and it kicks in only after losing a durability segment. So at that point you have the defense 1 that repairs and kicks in after losing 1 segment, and for the rest of the battle, or you have the other one working. Okay, then when you get a perk 2 or level 9, if you again choose defense, that value really goes high, and for 10 seconds. Okay, that works for any of the characters, and it goes to these values if on the perks 1 and 2 you always choose defense. So if during the upgrades you did choose actually defense 1 and defense 2 as perk 1 and perk 2, any of the character of the Bastion becomes difficult to kill, and especially if you understand how the regular self-repair and the perk repair work together, and you understand when to stay out in the open, when behind cover and everything. These guys are quite tough to wipe out. And let's start analyzing the characters. So we're going to store armory characters, and the first one is the Jagger. The Jagger is a scout. The initial durability and speed are... the durability is okay, the speed is nice. The active ability is the overdrive, and it accelerates greatly for a few seconds. While you're having the ability running, turning them around is not that easy, but it's very good to get somewhere, either to grab a beacon to help a teammate or to get out of trouble. It mounts 3 medium weapons, when you get it or when you buy an extra one, it comes with the suppressor. When we start with the upgrades instead, you see the increase of the upgrade all the way to level 9 is more than 3 times. Okay, the speed goes up about a 40%, and even if you see the overdrive when you get at per 2, it does accelerate. I mean, this thing starts really running, and even the duration increase, but that happens already at perk 1. Another thing is that at perk 2, at level 9, you get 2 charges, and that's make quite of a difference. And instead, if we look at the passive ability, you see how it does increase the value of repair. Remember, these ones are related if you choose defense when you get to perk 1 and perk 2. If not, this doesn't kick in. And this one is if you choose mobility on perk 1 and perk 2. But you could choose defense on perk 1 and mobility in perk 2. But if you do that, at the end you're gonna have mobility 1, defense 1 and mobility 1, because when you will get at perk 2, it will tell you you want to go for defense 2 or you want to go for mobility 1, and that of course is your choice. One thing that I forgot to mention, with this video I'm trying to give you as much information as I can on the characters and the weapons, but in my opinion, my very personal and humble opinion, your choice should be done based on your playstyle, because your playstyle is the one that is gonna instinctively come out all the times. So try to choose robots and weapons based on that, because for example, I cannot really call myself a brawler. It's not the kind of fight I'm looking for, but maybe some of you are. So your choices should be done in that way. Okay, so during this video I'm gonna give you, as I said, as much information as I can. Based on that, it's up to you to understand which of the robots and the weapons are going to fit better your playstyle. Nothing, I mean, for example, if you look at my hangar, I have 2 Jagger and 2 Sentry. I don't even have a hoplite. I mean, I have it, but I'm not really using it. Quite rarely I'll put it in and play with it a bit, but it's not my choice. I like very much the Jagger, and especially with the Trailblazer, but that is because of my playstyle. So please, please, please pick your robots and weapon based on your playstyle, and I'm sure that if you choose this way your characters and weapons, you're gonna have much more satisfaction at the end, because you just play. You don't have to think about what robot you have, what weapons you have, because you built it around your playstyle, and in my opinion that will help you a lot. And also, if doing your builds you are focused on your playstyle, is going to be much easier to choose what fits better your playstyle, and that will help you using your resources in a specific way. Okay, unless you get a Prime Plus, and then with the Prime Plus you can get characters and weapons no, I got them all already, and weapons for free. Of course, the upgrades are not going to be for free, but at least you could always get a robot and a weapon at level 1, give it a try and see if it fits your playstyle or not. So my thing about doing everything based on your playstyle has to do with having the most fun satisfaction out of the game, but at the same time to use your resources in the best possible way. And the next one is the Spitfire, a brawler, a two-legged robot. It mounts too heavy. As you see, a better durability than the Jagger, but a 20% less speed. Self-repair, same thing, as I said, is going to be for every single character. The active one is the Molotov. The Molotov has a range that goes from 50 to 200 meters. So when you're really brawling area, very close, even if the active ability is ready, it won't work if you are below 50 meters. In another way, if you have a robot that is coming towards you, even if let's say it's around 250 to 140 meters, if you use the Molotov, by the time it gets there, because it's not that fast, the robot will be in the range of the damage of the Molotov. Okay? About the Spitfire upgrades, as you see, when you go all the way to level 9, you see that the durability it's more than 3 times, speed about a 20% more that you already gained at level 6. As you see, the active ability, you know, the impact damage gets really high. It's the same, the zone damage, and even the radius gets bigger. But already at level 6, it's nice. And then of course, when it comes to the perks, depending on what you choose, you're gonna get either those levels, or if you choose to have a mixed solution with defense one and mobility ones, then this one are going to be the one that you can count on. Another thing and that one runs both for robots and weapons. Level 6, which is not even so difficult to achieve in the upgrades, normally already gives you good performances. So if you play in Gold 1 or in Gold League at any level, with level 6 you can already do well, because my hangars are all like 6th level, some, very few, are still at 5, and the same for the weapon. Actually, in the weapons I already have a few 7 here and there, and I do my battles without a problem. The next character in the list is the Sentry, a specialist, 4-legged, it mounts 2 heavy and a medium. As you see, it has nice durability at the beginning and a medium thing between, if you remember, Spitfire was a 20, but Jagger was a 25. So the Sentry is something in between. And having 2 heavy and 1 medium, it has more firepower than the Spitfire, okay? And even it has the Gunner as an active ability, and even this one does increase its performances with the upgrades. And with that, it bases in front a turret, but when you press for the active ability, you will see the turret appearing in front of the robot, but you can position the turret with the view, okay? So the turret appears in front of you. Let's say you want it more on the right, you change the view of the robot, and even the turret changes position. At that point, you release the active ability button, and the turret is going to actually appear that and start shooting from that position. And if you want, you can go even vertical and place it on top of a building. Okay? And for the grades, well, you see that's the progression for durability, the speed, and this is the turret. Okay, that if you see at level 9 you have 20 times the damage. It runs for 20 seconds, and even on the other levels, but the recharge of the ability is rather fast. And even the durability of the turret, you see it goes sky high on level 9. But a level 6 it's nice. Defense and mobility, about the perks I told you already. And again, if you see at level 6, the performance is not bad. I mean, we have 2.5 times the durability, a 20% increase on the speed. The turret already does 3 times the damage, and it has the double of the durability. Next on the list, the hoplite, the tank, which is the slower one of the characters, but the one has the highest value in durability. Self-repair, and as active, it drops a dome of energy, which is an AG shield. Okay? About the AG shield, there is one thing you have to remember. When the hoplite has the AG shield going, you cannot shoot through the shield, but you can cross it with your robots. So you can enter in the area protected by the AG shield and then shoot at the hoplite. And that is something that you have to keep in mind, even in both cases. Either you bump into a hoplite or you are playing with the hoplite, because you have to keep that in mind. An opponent can walk, or let's say enter the area protected by the shield and shoot you anyway. Now about the upgrade. Ooh, one thing that I forgot. The hoplite mounts 2 medium and a heavy. Okay, sorry if I forgot to mention that at the beginning. Anyway, here you got all your data for the numbers for the upgrades, and as you see, as I said before, on level 6, even Mr. Hoplite here starts to perform nicely. Okay, then of course you are going, depends what you choose on perk 1 and perk 2 for what is related to defensibility, but this is about the robot itself. What I want to stretch out a little bit is the AG shield, because you see, when you get all the way to level 9, the numbers of the AG shields do get impressive. At this point, and I do believe I bumped into a couple of these, and this guy, well, beside the fact that destroying the shield wasn't easy, but man, they were without shield for like just a few seconds, and pop, I was up again. And now we start with the weapons, and the first one in the list of the medium is the suppressor. As you see, the initial damage is not anything that you will go crazy for, but the number of the bullets that you have per weapon, it's quite nice. Okay, distance 200 meters, reload 10 seconds, which is not so fast. About the upgrades of the suppressor, there is one thing that you have to keep in mind. When you get to level 5 or perk 1, the weapon changes the way it shoots. Up to level 4, you had a certain fire rate, okay? But on perk 1, it completely changes the way of shooting, because it goes from a minimum to a maximum of bullets per second. And this spin up time is the time that is needed to get from the minimum to the maximum. Okay, and when you get to perk 2 level 9, you see the spin up time becomes the half, and the maximum increases again. So when you will end up with suppressor level 9, after 2 seconds of fire and having 1,000 ammo per clip, per salvo, or whatever you call it, these babies are going to do quite some damage. The range is 200, so these are very, very effective weapons, both suppressor and heavy suppressor. Next in the list is the Javelin, a homing system, missiles. The trajectories are not very curved, almost straight, so they're very effective out in the open when there are a lot of places where your opponent can hide. You don't hit him that much. Anyway, these are the values at level 1, and as you see, this is a weapon that has 200 meters range, and you better keep that in mind. As for the upgrades, as you see, at level 6, which is the one that I use to describe the performances at, let's say, medium level, so that includes already the perk 1. As for the damage, it's a bit more, 4 times, a bit more than 4 times. You get better shots in burst, ammo, reload time, and then of course when you get to perk 2 or level 9, you see the values really go high, so you know, you can be sure that it's going to do some nice damage. And now the last of the medium weapon for the Bastion faction, and that's the Trailblazer, another homing system, rockets. The trajectories in this case do curve much more. As you see, the starting damage is higher, than with the javelin, and even the range, especially the range, it's quite higher because the javelin has 200 meters. Okay, I'm using the javelins on my Jagger, even if now there is javelin here, but normally that's the way that my little things goes down in the field. And with the javelin at level 7, you're doing some serious damage, because as you see, the ammo goes up to 180. But as for any of the characters and the weapons, it's a matter of your choice. I like the Trailblazer over the Javelin because I don't like to brawl. I like more to fight at a certain distance. So having the 350 meters, automatically for me, it's easier to choose the Trailblazer over the Javelin. But if you are a brawler, most likely the Javelin will fit better your playstyle. Now, when it comes to the upgrades of the Trailblazer, to the Trailblazer happens the same thing that happened to the Suppressor. And with that I mean that at perk 1, it does change the way it shoots, it fires. Because as for the Suppressor, you don't have a certain fire rate, but you start having a minimum and a maximum and a spin up time. Okay? These are the values that you're gonna get at level 6, and this one at level 9. And as you see, the increase of the damage is not so incredible, but the number of ammo, that one becomes a serious amount of missiles that you can shoot with each one of them. Okay, the spin up time becomes much shorter, and even the fire rate accelerates to a nice rhythm if you think that these are missiles per second. And when you have, like I have on my Jagger, 3 of these, because the Jagger mounts 3 medium weapons, that makes it 540 missiles that you can shoot. Okay? Just for you to understand what we're talking about. So when you analyze these numbers, also analyze how many of those weapons you are going to mount on that robot. Okay, because if you are on a sentry, you mount 1 medium. Okay, but if you are on a Jagger, you mount 3 of these. And that at the end, when you will get to max out the weapons and the robot, this will make a tremendous firepower. Okay, and now it's time of the heavy weapons. Okay, the first one is the heavy suppressor, the big brother, kinetic bullets. As you see, it starts with the 30% more power compared to a suppressor, but it has the 20% less ammo. Okay, then it's always 10-second reload and 200 meters range. And for the upgrades, as you see, as for the suppressor and for the Trailblazer, when you get to perk 1, even the heavy suppressor changes the way that it fires. Okay, so you have the spin time, the minimum rate, and the maximum rate. Okay, when you get to level 6, you already have these, and your power, your damage, is at that point 3 times the one of the beginning. The 20% less reload time, and you double the bullets, the ammo. And then on level 9 and perk 2, as you see even here, this baby can deliver really quite some damage. And if you bumped into any, most likely Spitfire with 2 heavy suppressor, nicely upgraded, you know what I'm talking about. And the next one, which is also a new entry, is the lens homing weapon, rocket launcher. It shoots 2 rounds of 8. When you shoot, they sort of spread out and then converge again on the target. They have a minimum and a maximum distance. When you get close to the 50, it's really less effective. That's because this first spread out and then converge again on the target. If there are obstacles around of any kind, you lose quite few of the missiles. But if you are out in the open, this is a dangerous weapon. And this is the path of the upgrades. As you see, perk 1 gives you more shots and 3 times the ammo, so that's quite nice. And as you see on level 6, you have almost the triple of the damage and a 20% less reload. Considering that at that time you also have these 2, at level 6 lens, it's already a quite dangerous weapon. And of course, if you get to get the lens to be maxed out, oh, you know, it's, hey, you wanna die? And now is time of the deadbolt. Sniper weapon, bullets, 600 meter range, reload speed, not really what we all would like. We would like this to be much lower than this, but this is the weapon. And of course, is a sniper weapon. It's supposed to be a 1 shot, 1 kill. And these are the upgrade. As you see, the damage goes up nicely, but at level 9 you get the triple of the power. Here is 2.5. There's not much really. There's not really much difference between level 6 and level 9. The reload gets much better. The fire rate, this is shots per second. So here is almost 2 shots, and here's over 2 shots. And as you see with the perks, you get from 2 to 3 and from 3 to 4. Okay. Sniper weapon, so it's very specific. So if you think you have good use for this, go for it, no problem. If not, unless you really have lots of resources to experiment, think about it, okay? But in the case you want to do sniping, this is a great weapon. Now, before we go into the very last weapon, which is the flank cannon, if this video was of any help, please hit the like button, subscribe to the channel, and don't forget the notification bell, okay? Thank you. As for the flank cannon, It's another it's an explosive system, launches grenade. They're not homing, so they don't do trajectory. They just shoot straight. They're quite quick, not as a bullet, but quick. And as you see, the damage, the initial damage is nice. Also the ammo, the reload time is kind of medium, and the distance is 200 meters. These are the upgrades of the flank cannon, and as you see, damage wise you do have a certain increase, but it's about normal, let's say. While what changes greatly is the ammo, because at level 1 you had 32 and you're gonna end up at level 9 with 160. Okay, and you're going to have 53 grenades per burst. Okay, remember that the flank cannon shoots with burst. There are 4 of them, and here actually is going to take only 3 bursts to empty the clip. Okay, and it will shoot an incredible number of grenades. So maybe with 7,500 it won't be one clip, one kill, but most likely the majority of the time you're going to get really close to that, and quite a few times it won't take more than one clip to wipe out the opponent. Okay, so that's it. I said what I had to say. I do hope that all the information that I gave you in this video will make it easier for you to choose which robots and weapons do fit better your playstyle. I repeat myself, but I would suggest you to build your hangars, no matter in what faction, following this idea, your playstyle. Because if you do that, first of all, you're gonna have the most fun playing, and most likely you're gonna be even more effective and get even more satisfaction. Maybe doing this, you're not going to be the stronger player in Beacon Rush or in Team Deathmatch, but I can assure you, you're still going to be a very strong player, especially once your robots and weapons do get to a nice level of upgrade. That said, this is it, and I'll see you the next time with the next video, which will be about the Hermit faction. Okay, thanks for viewing the video, and ciao.